Hello and welcome to the 6th Virtual and Christmas Interdisciplinary Research for Sustainable Development. My name is Gerald Muhuumuza and I am a Fulbright Distinguished Awards in Teaching Excellence Program Fellow for the year 2021, and I'm from Uganda, where I am a teacher and school manager. And today I wish to discuss with you quality education in regards to overcoming pandemic setbacks to consolidate previous gains. I wish to start by going through the Sustainable Development Goals because they are interrelated, so that I can try to focus on one thereafter. SDG goal number 1 is no poverty, number 2 is zero hunger, number 3 is good health and well-being, number 4 is quality education, number 5 is gender equality, number 6 is clean water and sanitization, number 7 is affordable and clean energy, number 8 is decent work and economic growth, industry and innovation and infrastructure is number 9, reduced inequalities is number 10, sustainable cities and communities is number 11, responsible consumption and production is number 12, climate action is number 13, life below water is number 14, life on land is number 15, peace and justice and strong institutions is number 16, and to crown it all is number 17, which is partnership for the goals. I wish to focus now on Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all, which can be shortened to an IEQ education and LLL, or L cubed for all, where IEQ is inclusive and equitable quality education, while the LLL is lifelong learning opportunities for all. During the pandemic that has just passed and is threatening to come again, many learners were excluded from school as a result of lockdowns. A few of them were able to continue schooling because their countries either did not lock down or locked down for very short times, and their students could attend. The others had no choice but to study online or miss out completely. Quality was not a priority really during the pandemic because accessing learning was quite a luxury for many people. It is almost the best they could get. Quality came along the way, but accessing was the main challenge, was the beginning, and achieving it was quite an achievement. This pandemic was a great opportunity for everyone to prepare for different modes of education besides the usual face-to-face. And I think it provided us with an opportune moment for us to change our paradigms and the way we think about education in order to cater for different modes, just in case anything came up. Be it the pandemic, if it came again, it would find us quite ready. And even in the absence of the pandemic now, injuries, sicknesses, and any other reason for a learner not going to school would not stop them from studying. And that doesn't stop at the youth only. Anyone can study now, better than ever, because there are more online resources for learning. Next is to look at the specific targets of Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which is quality education. Target number 1 is free primary and secondary education, while target number 2 is equal access to quality pre-primary education, which is called kindergarten or nursery in some countries. Number 3 is equal access to affordable technical, vocational, and higher education. Number 4 is increasing the number of people with relevant skills for financial success. Number 5 is eliminating discrimination in education, while number 6 is universal literacy and numeracy. 7 is education for sustainable development and global citizenship. 8, or 4A, is building and upgrading inclusive and safe schools. 9, or 4B, is expanding higher education scholarships and developing countries. And 10, or 4C, is increasing the supply of qualified teachers in developing countries. These targets put the Sustainable Development Goal number 4 in proper perspective, and reflecting on them, it is important to ask the question, how can we secure the progress made before the pandemic and even do better than we were doing before the pandemic? Going forward, I would like to discuss with you or share with you some few enablers and challenges which would be encountered in pursuing this Sustainable Development Goal number 4 of quality education. During the pandemic, technology in education proved to be more vital than ever. And because of this, there was a challenge of rushing before preparing. Everyone rushed to Zoom and other platforms, and a few issues came up here and there. Unsuitable methods were used. There were complaints about lack of feedback from the learners, feedback from the teacher. The teacher could not know if the learners had learned, and the learners could not know if they had learned what the teacher was expecting them to learn. Mismatch of paces of facilitators and learners. This was quite true for various methods which did not encourage enough interactivity. And the discrepancies in access to technology just widened the gap between the privileged and the wanting. There are those who already had the technology and they seemed to like or enjoy the entire period of the pandemic, while those who were wanting were pushed even further away from accessing education and learning. One of the main enablers is blending the education. That is to say, preparing a combination of online resources when there is need and face-to-face resources when there is no need per se for the online encounters or interactions, or even combining them so that even face-to-face learners can access online resources and integrate them in their day-to-day activities. The key is getting the correct fit between challenges, solutions, and the environment. Some strategies may assist in achieving this end. Teachers need to be trained. They need to be trained in the wide range of technologies which are available online and offline, even using radio, TV, and loudspeakers for low-resourced communities. They need to be trained in depth so that they are proficient in the use, appraisal, and design of these technologies. They also need to be very flexible so that they can use any of the technologies they have been trained in to achieve the objectives or goals. The other strategy is the improvement of infrastructure in schools, districts, and nations at large. School infrastructures need to improve, facilities need to be put in place to facilitate learning both in person and online, so that there is a seamless switching between the two without having to struggle a lot. Of course, schools operate under districts and districts operate under countries, so there is need for a combined and well-organized effort. The cost of acquiring and maintaining the technology is still prohibitive in many places. Efforts need to be done to bring these costs lower, especially for education purposes. One of the strategies would be to emulate zero-rated education access, such as the one offered by multi-choice digital satellite television in some parts of Africa, such as Uganda, South Africa, and others. Mobile phone companies have also made efforts to provide free access to educational sites, and others need to follow suit, and even the ones which have pioneered need to enlarge or increase the number of education sites that can be accessed for free. There is also need for continuous feedback, evaluation, and improvement to perfect the blended learning. That is to say, combining online interaction with face-to-face interaction to provide a well-enriched and interactive learning experience, which can be used in a wide range of situations. Good or challenging, learning should continue because time waits for no man. As we are discussing interdisciplinary research for sustainable development, it is very important to look into other disciplines which need to be paid attention to complement the achievements or the ambitions that are hoped to be gained in SDG number 4. First and foremost is health. There is currently the looming threat of the Omicron variant, and we can only rely on our health practitioners to guide us with the standard operating procedures for coping with such an outbreak or any other. Math or science, technology, and engineering does help with modeling scenarios and solutions so that everyone can get a good picture of what the threats are and how or what the standard operating procedures are and how they can be implemented. Implementing such activities costs money, and the other area is finance. Activities need to be funded. This is quite in line with Sustainable Development Goal number 1 and 8. Excuse me. Logistics. Even when there is money, implementation is not always automatic. There is need for proper research about the best ways of implementing the various actions that have been agreed on and funded. And this is in line with SDG number 9. Social sciences, societal behavior. While everything else may be in place, the people also need to be sensitized. They need to be understood and interacted with in order to achieve the desired outcome. Currently, there are mixed feelings about vaccination. Some people are clearly against vaccines, while others are standing on the fence. They are either for or not for. Then come the human rights, then come the law, and others. So all these need to be looked into to ensure that the intended outcomes are achieved. Political sciences are another discipline which needs to be looked into for legal and governance frameworks, achieving top leadership support, and enabling environments to ensure that the actions can be achieved and maintained in a sustainable way. And this ties in with Sustainable Development Goal number 16. I would like to wrap up by suggesting some 5 rights for us to get in the right direction. We need to ask the right questions. In other words, we need to be objective. We need to get the right answers. In other words, we need to check the answers for credibility. We need right implementers. They should be competent. We also need the right motivation. People need to be rewarded for what they do. And above all, we need to work for the right cause. And what better cause can there be than a better world for all? I want to thank you so much for your attention, and I wish you a Merry Christmas. My social media contacts are on the screen. I look forward to hearing from you.